Knights of Columbus is gathering this week in Florida for its 141st Supreme Convention. Around 2,300 members of the world's largest fraternal order are taking part in the event in Orlando. This year's theme is First in Faith and Charity. EWTN will have exclusive coverage throughout the event. And joining us now from Orlando is Jonathan Reyes, Senior Vice President for Strategic Outreach and Senior Advisor for the Knights of Columbus. Jonathan, great to have you on. We appreciate it. So if you don't mind, can you give us a little overview of the convention this week?
Right. So the convention is basically our business meeting, but that's all behind doors. So really what we're doing is two things. We're coming together to pray together. We're going to have some great liturgies, and we're so grateful to EWTN for covering those liturgies. Tomorrow's going to be absolutely beautiful. Great music, great art. We pray together, but the big thing for us is this is our vision setting for the next year. So we grab up the great graces of the last year, talk about the things we've done globally, and then we get an address from our head, our Supreme Knight, who's going to tell us what are we looking for in the next year. And that's where the theme comes in, which is First in Faith and Charity, with the emphasis on both of those being so important, I think, for the times we're in. Yeah,
absolutely, Jonathan. And can you tell us a little bit more about the theme and why you chose that?
Yeah, you know, it seems to us we're in a moment where we need faith and charity to go hand in hand, right? So we've got all these great efforts that are doing great evangelization and outreach, and we've got great charitable works that have characterized the church for years. But for 141 years, the Knights has done both of these things. Our founder, Blessed Michael McGivney, it was all about both the corporal and spiritual works of mercy. And I think anyone looking around today knows that, yes, we've got a lot of corporal works of mercy to do, but we're also in a bit of a crisis spiritually. I think this proclamation of a absolute crisis of isolation, of desolation, of people being not capable of finding hope, and the studies that come out about our poor young people and what they're suffering, we really believe that the Knights of Columbus, 2 million men, 16,000 parishes worldwide, we have a mission to bring both the corporal and spiritual works of mercy, put them together in a meaningful way, and bear witness to the world of the hope and healing that Christ brings.
Yeah, and I know that you have been really heavily involved with the Knights in evangelization and faith formation, and both those areas are going to be a focus of the convention this year. That said, Jonathan, what does that mean specifically for your organization and the people that you interact with and minister to?
Yeah, you know, we're a men's organization. So for us, first and foremost, that means we want to form men. We want to recruit young men. We want to bring them to knowledge of Jesus Christ, and we want to train them up to be disciples. And so we are going to be unveiling some great resources we've put together. A men's Bible study, a video series. I'll save the splash for tomorrow, but we're really investing in the formation of men because we're convinced, like the studies show, that the father's faith is the single most determinative factor in the faith of children, and that we need men to step up at this moment in history to really take on the kind of leadership God has called them to as disciples of Jesus Christ. So for us, that means sending men on mission, entrusting them to the grace of God and equipping them for that mission so that they can go out, make disciples.
And Jonathan, I want to pivot here before I let you go and talk about something else. At a large gathering of the faithful in California over the weekend, the Napa Institute, I know you gave a speech on Christian hope. And before we let you go, would you mind sharing that message with our viewers?
Yeah, you know, thank you for asking. That message was twofold, and I think it's embodied by our Knights gathering. The first is, hope is the great virtue of hard times. As 1 Peter says, be ready to give an account for your hope, especially in the hard times. And this is a hard time. So I said, hey, this is a time for hope. This is a test of our hope, and that's where evangelization will come from. And my second message was pretty simple as well. It was, sometimes we don't see things that make us hopeful. The crucifixion was not a hopeful event to see, but it was actually Christ conquering the enemy and setting the human race free forever. It was the ultimate victory. So let's set our eyes on what the Lord wants us to see, and let's take hope in his message and what he's really doing, no matter what we seem to think is going on.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. We appreciate it, and great to be with you, Jonathan. God bless.